Whether it's a party, whether it's a gathering, a get together, some kind of holiday festive thing, whether it's a Bible study, and you've got a whole bunch of choices, a whole bunch of food choices because everybody's brought something. There's healthy choices, not so healthy choices, and then there's some really bad choices, right? All of that. How do you navigate through that? And I'm going to add to this. How do you navigate through all of that, making choices without using the word or the words, I can't? How do you do it? Because I'm going to tell you, the I can't language, it's subconscious. And it's going to take a little bit of work to start becoming aware of that. But I want to give you some really cool tips around language today, around language in your journey to better health, your journey to making better choices, and especially in those times, particularly. And I'm going to talk about a couple other different a couple different angles on this as well. But the main thing that I want to home in on beginning this video is I can't. How do we navigate through that? All right. So picture yourself at one of these events. You're at a party, you're at a gathering, you're at a Bible study with tons and tons of people, and everybody's brought something. All right. You've got a table full of an array of choices. Oh my goodness. And you've got those healthy choices, you've got not so healthy choices, and you've got the really bad choices. And it's now time for you. Put yourself in the shoes here, because I'm gonna paint this picture for you. It's time for you to get in line to go grab something to eat at whatever event you're at. All right. So you're in line, you finally get to the table, you grab your plate. Okay, you're sitting there with your plate. Well, not sitting there, you're standing there with your plate. You've got a line of people behind you. So I'm kind of creating a little bit of tension here. You've got a line of people behind you. So you can't spend a whole bunch of time trying to figure out what you want to do. So what happens in that scenario? As you are looking out across that table of all the choices you have, what's playing in the back of your head? And I literally mean subconsciously, because it happens split second. It happens in a matter of even just a couple of seconds. And if you're not aware of it, you don't even know what's going on. Let me paint this picture for you. Oh, Sally. She makes the best pasta salads. Oh my goodness. And that looks so good. But I can't have that. And Billy. Oh my gosh, Billy is so known for his pizza. Look at all of that cheese. Look at that pepperoni. Oh, but I can't have that either. And Sarah, oh my gosh, Sarah makes the best pies. Look at that luscious apple pie with the crumble on top of it. Oh my gosh, that looks so good. But I can't have that. I can't. I can't. I can't. What's coming up for you as I paint this picture? What kind of emotions? What kind of picture what are the feelings that you're feeling as I paint this picture for you? The I can't have that. I can't have that. I can't have that. I can't have that. Whatever it is for you. And whatever scenario you're in, I can't have that. I can't have that. What's coming up for you, right? Depravity, restriction, lack, just so much negative emotion just comes up, right? Well, let me ask you this question. What would happen if you became aware of those thoughts and that language? And what would happen if in the moment you changed it to something like this? You know, right now, I'm choosing not to have that. I don't need that. That's not something that I need to even have. Right now, I'm going to take that out of my eating plan. I'm going to choose this healthy choice instead. Right now, I'm choosing this healthier option. Did you feel that? Did you feel the energy shift as I kind of switched things around? Did you feel that? What just happened? What happened is you put yourself in the driver's seat. It's no longer about I can't, because technically you didn't say no to yourself, did you? You just kind of said, not now, not now. That's the energy shift I'm talking about. Now, I'm going to tell you, it might take a few times of practice to get the hang of it and to become more aware of what's going on in the subconscious and the I can't language. But eventually you get to the point of, nah, I don't need that. Funny story behind that. I went to a worship practice at church a few months ago. And usually I'm not there for worship practice, but I needed to be there for that time because they were doing something unique. And they provided food there and everything else. And then, anyhow, towards the end, the worship leader's husband was walking around with this box full of treats. And it was obvious to me they were trying to get rid of them. And he came over to me and he asked me, he's like, would you like one? Or he said something to that matter. And I said, no, I don't need that. And he's like, that's not what I asked you. And I'm like, no, I just don't need that. Even using that language, I don't need it. It kind of threw him off a little bit, I noticed. And it was just funny. But that's what I've gotten to. It's like, I don't need that. And honestly, like a lot of those treats that were in the box really didn't look that appetizing to me. I'm just like, no. And don't get me wrong, I have my moments here and there where, yeah, I have a little sweet thing, a little sweet treat. Maybe it's like a little tiny mini, like little piece of chocolate or something like that, just to satisfy, just a little, But for the most part, yeah, no, I don't need it. So I'm sharing that with you and the stories behind that because I want you to become more aware of the I can't language, because it can become so sabotaging to your journey, to your mindset, to your health. And then you're wondering why later on down the line you end up just totally binging on something. Well, it's sometimes it's because what you have not been aware of, the subconscious language, has been coming up, and eventually it cascades. Eventually it just builds and builds and builds and builds until you have that moment where you just go, whatever, and you binge because you're tired of it, because you haven't empowered yourself. So I'm hoping that makes sense. Now, with that, I also want to give a few other tips, because at the time I'm making this video, we're in the midst of the holidays, but this particular scenario can be applied all year round to different gatherings, Bible studies, and parties and stuff like that. But we are headed in the holidays. So one of the things that one of the tips that I want to give here as well is, how do you set yourself up for empowerment for those gatherings? Well, first of all, one of the things that you can do, and I talk about this in my Bootcamp series, it's called planning ahead. Okay, and I was on the phone with a client the other day, and we were talking about this because he actually is in the midst of going through my level 2 bootcamp. And we were talking about this planning ahead. So what does that look like in regards to these parties and gatherings? And even when you go out for an evening, so what does that look like, planning ahead for those things? First of all, see if you can track who's bringing what. All right. Sometimes these gatherings, they've got a list on who signed up to bring what. And if there's something on there that's a good choice for you, then plan to have that. Plan ahead. Set your mind on ahead, right? But what if there's a scenario and there's nothing there that you really, you really want, or that's going to serve you, or, that's going to empower you? What if there's no choices? Then bring something that you're comfortable with eating that you can share, right? So, and that's sometimes what I will do is I will bring something that I can share, but I'm comfortable with eating if there's no healthy options for me, or if I haven't been able to figure out who's bringing what. Because sometimes I just, maybe sometimes I haven't had the time to look or research or anything like that. So I will often set myself up for success ahead of time, planning ahead, and bring something that I can have. Um, and then maybe I might take a bite here or a bite there just to taste something, and then just leave it like that and be satisfied with what I've got. So those are just some of the things. Plan ahead. And even when you're going out at a restaurant, look ahead at the menu of the restaurant. Plan ahead. Know what you're going to order at that restaurant. Know what you're going to eat ahead of time. Plan ahead. Because a lot of times you get there, you're in conversation, the waiter or waitress comes by, hey, you guys ready to order? No, we haven't looked at the menu yet. Well, the waitress comes by the third time, you feel obligated, and so you open up the menu and you kind of just pick something really quick without even really think about it. But when you plan ahead and you already know what you're going to have, that's less likely to happen. So that's the other thing. Now, I want to speak into a couple other things really quickly before we end this video. I want to speak into, first of all, what happens on the times where you have a weak moment, you fall off the horse, which is going to happen. Why? Because you're human, right? What about those moments? Well, I'm definitely going to tell you, it's not a time to stop or to pause your journey. Ah, dang, today's shot then. I'm just going to begin tomorrow, or I'll just begin next week, or I've got too much stuff going on during the holidays. This is a big one. I had too much stuff going on during the holidays. I'll just begin again in the new year. No, 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 no. Your weight loss journey, your journey to better health overall, is not a start and stop process. And I'm also going to address the whole reset thing. No, it's not about resetting either. It's about continuing. So what? You fell off the horse. Guess what? Now it's time to ask yourself a few questions around that, right? What were my trigger points? How did I get here? What happened? What plans can I put into place for next time so it's less likely that I fall into this trap again? And what is God showing me through this? What is God revealing me to this that I can take forward in my journey? That's what you get to do when you do have that moment that happens, right? You get to evaluate, you get to assess, you get to grow from that, you get to get stronger from that, and get better from that, and continue the journey. It's not about throwing in the towel for that day and starting again the next day. It's about assessing, growing from it, learning from it, and continuing into the rest of your day and into the next day. That's what gets to happen. Lastly, when you do have that weak moment or you fall off the horse, it is not a time that you sit there and beat yourself up over it. Stop the pity parties. Again, learn from it, grow from it, use it as leverage, not as a point to shame or to guilt all over yourself and all that. And when has that ever been helpful anyhow? Doesn't that just make things worse, right? And as I'm saying that, you're shaking, you're nodding your head, you're going, yep, yep, yep. But in the moment, it's so easy to fall into that trap. So I'm just mentioning this to make you more aware of it, because the more aware of it you are, the more you are going to recognize it and to be able to switch the mindset and then grow and continue in your journey. All right. Listen, you guys, this journey to better health, weight loss, whatever your goals are, it's not a linear path, you guys. It is often up and down like this. And often the reality is sometimes it feels like this. It's not even like this. It just feels like this all over the place. But it's a journey, my friends. And you get to embrace all of the valleys and the challenges that come along with that. And you get to grow from them and get better and get wiser. It doesn't mean you're not going to fall off the horse from time to time. That is going to happen. But you don't get to stay there. And you don't get to shame yourself. You don't get to guilt yourself. You get to give yourself grace, learn from it, grow from it, and continue. All right. So that's it for my video for today. So if you like this, I'm going to encourage you guys, please subscribe to this channel. Also, like this video and share it out. If you know somebody that needs this message, share this video out. And lastly, before I leave you, below in the description below is a few links to get into my world. If you're curious about what it would be like to work with me or how I structure my program and all that stuff, get on a Zoom call with me. Let's connect. Let's unpack what it looks like for you moving forward. Whatever your goals are, whether it be to lose weight, whether it be to zero in on your health in general, or any of that. Let's connect on a Zoom call. I don't bite. I'm not going to high pressure you. I will share with you what I have to offer, and we'll see if something is a good fit for you. But there's no pressure. At least let's connect. All right. There's going to be links below to get into my world and connect with me. Reach out. Reach out. Get on a free strategy call with me. That's free. You got nothing to lose. All right. So anyhow, have a great rest of your day or evening, depending on where you are in the world and what time of day you are listening. And I will catch you on the next video. Thanks.